so far. Dave Kramer invited RIRA officials to a meeting to talk about how we can help them get involved in the community. Okay? The guy who should have, one of the guys who should have attended from us was Guy Long, Max Long. I don't know whichever name he goes by.
He's long gone.
But he's long gone because he was our point person. He was our point person, and in fact, he was the one who originally opened communications with David Kramer. So he's gone. So instead, I went representing our committee. So the three of us was Matt as RIRA president, me as Island Services Committee, and Frank as Planning Committee. Okay? But it was at their invitation. This is not an open meeting. Okay. I think it was a very good, I felt it was a very good meeting. What we learned is, where's my notes? Dave Kramer seems to have a vision, which is to make Main Street the center of our village. Get that word? Village. Not town, but of our village. That's his, okay? That's his vision, for better or for worse.
It used to be.
That's not a new vision.
Yeah,
you know, this is what
Maybe it is for him.
Well,
or for him it is.
Could I,
Sure, please.
could I add just a couple factual things just to support, not only contradiction this, but just because I got a class in negative 3 minutes.
Do I have to start doing my math again? Is that it?
I should be dancing right now. Okay.
You can
I can see that in your.
I just cut out of my TAP class early.
tell us what the hell you want to
Okay.
tell.
Point number one. Okay. I had an email with David Kramer just to follow up, and I mean I agree with you. I thought it was a good meeting, but he's Matt has brought up this idea of having the town hall meeting, which is a fantastic idea, Matt. And
It's now set in stone.
And it's now set in stone. And the thing is that we all know in a lot of ways how residents come to these meetings and stuff like that. So part of us had some ideas on how to make it productive. But afterwards, in hearing him talk about some of the issues that have been discussed in the rear here, like the glass in the arcade and Westview and Eastwood, stuff like that, I said to him, in the email, I said it seemed to be there was, in my sense, a disconnect and on a couple of Northtown's needs. And I said there were 2 points here. One is that it seems to be seniors, parents, and children in Manhattan walk on sidewalks without an arcade to protect them from rain, snow, and wind. This was his rationale for, and thus we don't need to worry about the glasses and stuff like that on Roosevelt Island. Okay, I'm just trust me, it was just a gloss over, and just trying to have a friendly conversation on this. The second is that he believes that the marketplace in Southtown is the same as the marketplace in Northtown, as in essentially the same type of clientele. And in fact, he says his survey data supports that the priorities and the way Northtown people answered this is very close to the way Southtown people had answered this.
Well, he did not give us, because they had not compiled all of the results, so we did not get the details of the survey.
And I had asked, and I had asked him in this email if we can get the.
Well, but he wasn't ready because they had not.
Okay, well then.
They had not counted all the mailed survey, which I happen to have given with a lot of detailed comments. Okay.
So anyway, let me get back to this thing in a follow-up email. I had asked him about this thing with, there really is a need for a $4 meal, which China One happens to serve right now, of wings and fries, because there's a $4 and a $6 marketplace, and then there's also a $25 and $50 meal that needs to be served to the marketplace. And essentially, it sounds like with these higher rents, because he was definitely talking about market rate rents on the spaces here, I said, my concern is that the prices will go up. And he said, actually, the prices don't need to go up. The way he explained it essentially was if the volume increases, then the merchants will be more, you know, will be offset of that.
But Frank, as you know, I strongly disagreed with you at that meeting, because I pointed out China One and Fuji East
Right.
are owned by the same
Right,
person.
yeah,
Right.
Fuji East has very good, in my opinion,
Yes.
and I'm a bit of a gourmet, Japanese food, okay? And it looks, it's inviting,
Oh, it's beautiful.
okay? China One is unattractive, it's dirty, you notice they got a bead
And
rating?
they brag about it.
Yeah, and I love Chinese food.
So did Nano's.
That, well,
Yeah.
That's wrong. I'm
okay,
getting it.
that's another
Noodles
issue.
got a beat.
And in my opinion,
That's the reason why it's
They're-
a great pendant.
their food is,
Well, that's a
But-
matter of taste,
but-
or this is going up.
okay,
don't
I
mind
understand,
it.
but I'm saying, here's a contrast, same owner, okay? And two totally differently managed outfits. There's no excuse for that,
Anyway,
in my opinion.
what he said in response to this was, in short, he says, as far as I'm concerned, there's a wide range of incomes throughout the entire neighborhood, and the retail mix should reflect that. Okay, that sounds to me like a reasonable response to that. And then on the windows and the and whatever, I think he accepted that point because he offered no response to that. And I said to him, you know, the tenants associations, at this point we may disagree on the tenants associations in each of those buildings, so Westview, Island House, and Eastwood, and the tenants are the owners in Rivercross, all have a strong say with respect to the owners of the buildings, and you need to work with the owners in the buildings to do what you want to do on the arcade. So that's the reason why, even though it's not in the lease, the stuff that he wants to do, Bill, I'm saying to your point, is it's not that stuff that's in the lease, stuff he wants to
But
do is
Frank,
outside of the
arcade
lease.
is not
and
on
he
that
needs-
side of the street.
Yeah.
The arcade is
Yeah.
at
No,
Eastwood.
we have one in
Roosevelt
Westview.
Let him finish the sentence.
We have a Westview.
Yeah, Westview has the same arcade too.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, I'm just saying that, I said, it's better to, in so many words, you probably want the tenants to be, you know, in favor of this, and just sort of left it as a positive
That was
thing.
good.
You know, and then left us, if you can accommodate the needs, and I said, I wish you good luck.
Okay. The main reason originally they were against the windows is because they blocked. What they did, visually, it was hard to see, particularly on the, the Roosevelt Landing side, it was hard to see the retail establishments. One of the reasons is, well, because of the windows, and the other reason is, those windows are never washed. Never.
Yes, they are.
Now they are.
Well,
Yes, they are.
when?
Yes, they are.
They're
They're not that dirty to me.
All right,
They're
all
not
right.
that dirty to
See
me.
that as it may,
Be
let
that
me say
way.
something.
But
all right.
it's needing your.
I've been quiet, but I want to say
I
something.
just want to add one thing to the reason, and I've been hearing, and they say that people, they don't want people hanging
That's what I
out
was gonna say.
there.
I think it's more racist, because there's a lot of minority.
Let's not get into
people.
No, that's not.
This is neither the time
That
nor the
topic actually was discussed, and
And
I'll
I brought it
summarize
up.
an email.
You don't have to, I'll bring it up right now.
It's out there.
Here's the good,
Go
let me,
ahead.
Aaron. Here's the good news. The man is listening to us.
Yeah.
That
Right.
doesn't happen all the time.
What?
The man wants to know what we think. He did a survey and got 1,300 responses. I don't know what it said, but I'm curious to find out. We are following up with a face-to-face with him at a town meeting that I hope people will come to, because we know that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and if people don't show up,
We need to
they
get
aren't
the-
going to be heard.
Well, when is this meeting?
I'm about to say, if you will give me a moment. Here's the deal. If people have strong feelings about arcade glass or about anything else, this will be the time to present it. Maybe the survey did have places for comments, but it could have asked more questions.
Definitely.
Yes.
What do you want? Do you want mom and pop stores? Do you want national chains? Do you want a mixture? This is the time to say it. And this is where the Chamber of Commerce needs to represent the people who are already leaseholders on this island. Because if they aren't there, they will never get heard again.
Right.
One thing is for damn sure, every single leaseholder on this island is going to have to step up to the plate and make it clear that they are willing to spruce up their places, offer merchandise, better merchandise, and at a better price than they can get off island. Because right now, most of the people I know do very little shopping on the island. And for this system to work, we need to give people the incentive to shop here. So write this down. Thursday, October 20th, 7:30 p.m. at the chapel. That will be the
Thursday,
10th.
October
20th.
At what time?
What time?
7:30
Where?
at the chapel.
Good Shepherd.
Okay.
Is he not going to rip out the windows before then?
No,
He's not going to do anything for months
Okay.
and months and months.
Helen, you know what, your concern was, let me just say, I've heard your concern, it was well expressed, trust me, it was heard loud and clear, okay?
Now, what the format of this meeting is going to be is a work in progress. How do we accommodate the largest number of people we can at a meeting without going into 3 o'clock in the morning?
Can I just make two things? One is I said to Mr. Kramer that I think if he, just the same way we did with public safety, a year or two ago, is that if he sets the stage by starting off with his PowerPoint presentation and then everyone understands what the purpose of the meeting is, did the same thing with Hunter, and set the stage. But I was also going to say on the agenda should be really short, which is something that you're in charge of.
Sure.
No more than 4 or 5 things. And I would say one item on the agenda, even though we're the residents association, I just want to clarify this, we represent the residents. The Chamber of Commerce represents the merchants, and I think they need to get a slot on the agenda to present that, and if you need help with the PowerPoint,
Okay.
I can help on the technical side, but they need to have their own say outside of us.
This is the time to stand up for yourselves, for all those merchants who've been here for a
The
while.
important
Yeah.
point,
I gotta go
the
down.
important point, they asked us, for this meeting, and out of this meeting came the plan, Matt's plan, for a community-wide meeting on the 20th. I think this is great.
Great.
My concept is, frankly, a little different, that they will start with a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
And maybe there might be some other groups that will also. And then the meeting will be thrown open for questions, comments, complaints, whatever. Now, to control that, the problem is, we all generally want to ask the same question. My suggestion to Matt is to control that, is that the questions be submitted on cards. So that then
You can
Matt,
collate the similar ones, so
yeah,
they don't
so
get
then
asked
Matt
5
could go
times
through
over
the
and
card.
over.
And then people
group
can get
them.
up on their
Yeah,
hind legs in front of a
because-
microphone and ask
Yeah.
their question.
Yeah.
But we won't be asking the same questions over and over. So we'll get a range of questions and also a range of residents being able to speak and be heard.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay? That sounds good. So I think Matt has really accomplished something great. Let me give you a couple of other impressions, at least that I had, from the meeting with Kramer. Clearly, he indicated they want good, and I hate to define that, retail stores who are able to pay the rent. We're not going to be giving away. An example,
How outrageous, right?
yeah, an example is, the thrift shop,
Yeah.
okay, pays no rent,
Right, that's-
never has. It has, I think, the most space.
That's outrageous.
They have 4,000 square feet of
Yeah.
space. Totally wasted.
No, by the way, I constantly shop there, I'm not ashamed to
Well, that's-
say it.
that's
I've gotten
fine.
a good
Yeah,
percentage
but you
of
don't
my
need to
clothing
shop,
there.
you don't have to shop
Shop in
in a
4,000
4,000 square foot thrift store.
That's-
You know,
It
what
is
can
the
I
worst
say?
looking,
I understand it used to be in a different spot years ago
well,
on Main
and
Street.
there will be.
It probably will
It
be
should
moved
be
to a smaller,
moved, it
fine.
maybe
But the
down.
thing is, it really fulfills the
No,
needs.
no.
You have, can I just
Absolutely.
finish my comment?
I'm not arguing that it doesn't.
You have people coming in wheelchairs, the very
We know
disabled
that.
people, they don't have money. It gives them an opportunity for cheap kicks of shopping for something
Fine.
for $1 or $2.
Absolutely.
No,
And
it's
because this
great.
place is so big, they can maneuver around the
Oh,
aisles
no,
and get
You
to
don't
it.
need 4,000.
Let's take this one
You
step
know,
farther.
it's up,
Helen,
that's what I'm just putting in my 2 cents.
let's talk about all of the nonprofits who are on this island who have taken up retail space because they weren't filled by stores
That's
doing
right.
business.
Yes.
One of the things we brought up at this meeting is that attention is going to have to be paid for these organizations because they're part of this community
Yeah,
too.
we talked.
However, it doesn't mean that they can maintain themselves in the spaces where they are now necessarily. Allocation of space is going to have to be a difficult question that we ask and will be answered by the new landlords. Who needs the space more? What is the best use of the space? Can nonprofits share space if they're not meeting there all the time? These are tough questions for outfits that have been in one space for years and years and have grown accustomed to it. But they're questions we're going to have to ask.
Yeah, and I think you should get the church involved. Doesn't the church back up the thrift shop?
Of course he does.
Yeah, they
So,
It's the
and
Caprese
you know,
Thrift.
they're the
They've
poorest
grown it.
parish around. They don't have
You know, I don't believe the windows in that thrift shop, in the 4 years I've been in the island.
Believe me, the people
Have
that shop there,
ever
they don't
been
care
washed.
about the windows.
But that's the
Aaron.
first thing you see when you,
They're
if
not
you're
the kind
coming
of
from
people that care that
Southtown,
much.
if you're coming
I
from
don't
South,
care.
that's the first thing you see.
We need
It's a turn
to
on.
present a more attractive,
It's a
view of our
voluntary thing, I don't know how they
retail
run
store.
it, they have volunteers there, and they
They'll do
try
a
to
bad
make,
job.
you know, try to do a job of some
Look,
sort.
I
They do,
donate a
they-
lot to that
So I
thrift shop.
donate too,
Well,
and I buy.
wait,
folks,
what are we
this is
arguing
neither here nor
for?
there. These are questions that are going to be answered down the pike.
It's not
We
our.
need to raise the
Yeah.
questions at this town meeting according to what we think are the most important things to bring up.
One other thing we learned from Kramer, he is planning to come up, what do you call it, a signage package. A set of graphics that, you know, very attractive, that would be used throughout Main Street, you know, for signs, for the stores, okay? It would be a branded thing, instead of the helter-skelter stuff
Right.
that we have now. We'll see what it looks like. He's gonna come up with something.
That's something for your subcommittee.
Yes, and that's definitely the
It's a
subcommittee
good
to
idea,
look at.
no.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's about all we can tell you.
Yeah,
I thought we had a very good start.
terrific.
Yeah. And we expect to have, by various means, you know, more meetings.
It was a rough meeting because we were raising all of these tough questions that nobody has answers for. I mean, he hasn't even considered anybody to lease stores to, and there are people coming up now who are saying, how do I get a hold of them? Hoboken Farms, for example, at the farmer's market on Saturdays, wants to be here 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I've gotten them to exchange information. It's a start.
You mean at the same spot, 7 days a week?
No.
No,
They
no,
want
no.
a-
Oh, they
In
want
a store,
a
then.
permanent
Oh, I was
store.
wondering,
Yeah.
that would be so weird, yeah.
Yeah, permanent
That makes
store.
sense.
Keep in mind that in New Jersey,
Maybe that would be a spot for them.
Yeah.
they have sandwich shops in New
That's not a bad
Jersey.
idea.
They have gourmet shops in New Jersey. What would be appropriate here would be something the marketplace will determine. But if you guys know of other stores that are interested in coming here,
Get them-
again, this is
get
something
them
for a
to sign.
subcommittee to collate and distribute to Kramer and his people.
Well, I know that people have put several proposals in with RIRA.
Forget that. Everything that has come up to now has gone into the ether and disappeared.
Yeah, forget it, really.
Stores,
I
schools,
agree.
banks, they've come and they've been ignored and they're gone. We start from scratch.
You gotta
They're,
start.
they're looking for potential store owners? I thought they had a whole staff.
That's what I just said. He said
That's
it's
what I know.
not there.
They keep
No,
asking
no,
for
no,
you're
that.
talking about
That's the
RIAC.
problem.
RIAC is a dead issue.
I know.
Hudson and Related starts this all
I know,
over
I know
again,
they're-
and they
I know,
have
I'm
nobody
saying
on
that
tap.
people
as far as I know.
Put their proposals
Do you know
in,
that,
to those
Deborah?
proposals that people put in for storage.
That's not what I've
That's
heard.
not
I
what
was
I can do with
stressed already.
Forget about RIAC. They never wanted to be a retail landlord, a commercial landlord.
They
and
never were.
And they never were a very good one.
And they,
They didn't have.
you know, it was a lost 20-year opportunity. But anyway, okay, so that's about all I can tell you on Main Street. We'll get our little subcommittee working under Mona with
I'm
Susan.
interested.
And you want to be on?
Yes.
Great, terrific.
Rick raised
Rick
his
wants to be in
hand.
it too.
What, tell me about this committee. This is my first time here, so I don't know anything about it.
What?
Just raise your hand so you'll be on it.
No, I'm gonna put, because I know she wants to. Tell, when
I
you go
know
back,
Cynthia was,
tell,
but tell me,
tell
how can I be a
Cynthia.
member or why?
no,
why-
you cannot,
Okay.
because you're from a
Chamber
different
of Commerce.
organization. So you can be involved,
Right,
but as a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
right.
And you
okay.
can certainly come to our meetings.
That would be fine.
And when there are public meetings with Hudson related,
Mhm.
you sure as hell ought to be represented,
Yeah.
okay?
Have you met with them at all up to now?
I only spoke to Andrew Jackson on the phone, and he said that he would set up a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce after
That's
he
great.
met with
He's
each
met
individual
individual,
stores.
he's doing that now.
He had to do all the individual
Yeah.
stores
But you should be
first.
at the table.
Yeah, so we gotta wait for
Okay,
that.
but anyway, let Cynthia know, or maybe I'll send an email, that she's on this task force, okay?
Mhm.
Even though we recognize that you may have a conflict of interest, but it's okay. She's good at it.
The only thing that Cynthia was concerned about is them taking down the windows, because she says that the wind is very strong
We know.
in
We
the
know.
winter.
And
which
we've
is-
talked.
We've brought it up and it needs to be
Yeah,
reinforced.
the
in the
draft,
meeting.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It'll be,
Love the windows.
in fact,
I do.
I'm sure that issue will be one of the key issues that come up at the October 20th meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bet there'll be 100 questions on that.
Yes.
So it will be discussed,
I don't know if anyone wants it.
okay? All right, no more then on, are we off Main Street?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, you're on.
I have a question.